Hello and welcome to another update video on XRP. The XRP chart is still consolidating below even the nearest micro resistance. It even looks a little bit as if a small triangle pattern could be unfolding there at the moment here. Yeah. So the idea is still, we're tracking currently short-term lower prices. It doesn't really look finished, this move down. I mean, it's not given us at least any clear upside reversal pattern or structure or anything that would indicate that the let's say collective sentiment here. I mean, that's what it is, right? The patterns we see on the charts, they represent collective sentiment, and that's not yet directly bullish. That might change, and the break above the first micro resistance would be a first signal that something is starting to shift. And the first micro resistance is between $2.21 or 2.215 and you could say $2.18, right? I can remove the lower section. Don't need that anymore. Creates a bit more room here. But you can see that this micro resistance area is still holding. And that was also the idea, on Friday, that over the weekend we could work on this fourth wave bounce, yeah. And now we are potentially in that next decline already. Now, this currently suggests we have a three-wave move up into resistance, so it's currently still being respected. Our parameters here of the blue scenario of this dip, yeah. So whether the wave 4 is really over or whether it forms maybe a triangle pattern doesn't really matter, because technically speaking, the wave 4, when we're dealing with a triangle, technically speaking, the wave 4 finishes at the end of the triangle. So it could very well be it's going to be here somewhere. For me, what really matters is that we do not get a decisive break above $2.215. Well, we might do. And if we do, then this is actually a signal that the momentum is shifting from a local downtrend to an uptrend. Okay. So from that point of view, the pressure at the moment is down. Bear in mind, a break above $2.21, $2.22 is only the first signal that things might be shifting. Okay, it's not yet, let's say it's not yet a confirmation that a larger trend is changing or anything. No, it would first of all be, I would say, just an indication that the bulls are attempting to make a comeback. It takes a little bit more than, just a break above micro resistance. But if the break above micro resistance is in 5 waves, then it's going to be something more interesting. It's important, I think, at this point to know that the price, if it breaks above 221, could test next Fibonacci resistance, yeah, which is then potentially here, this area around $2.31. That is not necessarily, that is not necessarily a Fibonacci resistance level. It's more like structural resistance, right? Which is up here, $2.31. Then we've got $2.36. And then this significant swing high there at $2.48. So we are currently in this local downtrend. This does look like, to be honest, a little bit like a bearish pennant. And therefore, the pressure remains downward, in my opinion, at the moment in the short term. What is probably interesting for most people is, what would be the next support level to watch? I mean, the price has found local support here in the area of the previous swing low at around $2.08. Further downside could send us to $2.03. I would expect that at this point, that we get there sooner or later. But as I said, I told you when I will change my view. And $2.03, $1.96, these are the two next levels. Also, there is some structural support here around that $2.03 level. So there could indeed be a bit of a reaction there in that area. So for now, I think the pattern is just being followed at the moment. We are still stuck in this blue wave 2. I'm going to move that over here a little bit. But we're still stuck in that blue wave 2. One more low, maybe 2 more lows. But overall, the overall pattern that I'm tracking is potentially bullish, and the idea is still that the fourth wave bottomed on the 7th of April Because we have a 5-wave move up, only a break below the standard support for a wave 2, below $1.79, which is really the lowest support we would expect to be tested in a wave 2 normally. Only if we break below that level, it indicates the pattern is shifting towards something more bearish. Not currently expected, but at the same time, the short-term trend is still down. So I'm watching for lower prices until I get a first break above micro resistance. But for now, the thesis is that we should get an upside reversal before we break below $1.79. Now, that's the update on XRP. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure you follow us here on X. You can also follow us on Instagram. But if you have any questions about charts or any comments, or you just want to get additional updates also in between videos here and there, then check out our X profile. I'll link it in the description and in the comments section for further insights, behind the scenes stuff, additional updates around the clock. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.